It was supposed to be a celebration, a soft, heartwarming glimpse into Meghan Markle's life as a mother, as a woman turning 44, as someone finally at peace. But instead, what the world got was something entirely different. Awkward, overly curated backyard dance video that triggered one of the harshest backlashes of Meghan's post-royal life. And by the end of it, even her most loyal supporters were asking, what on earth was she thinking? Before we dive into this viral implosion, make sure to subscribe to the channel, because in a world where royal PR is polished to perfection, we're here to break down what's really going on at the stroke of midnight. As August 4th began, Meghan's team, or possibly Meghan herself, dropped the video across her social channels. She appeared barefoot in the lush garden of her Montecito mansion, dressed in a flowing designer caftan, a glass of wine in one hand and her children, Archie and Lilibet, at her side. What followed was a loosely choreographed dance, something meant to look spontaneous, maternal, joyful, but it didn't. The children looked visibly stiff. Meghan, on the other hand, twirled theatrically, her eyes locked on the camera more than on her kids. The grass was perfectly trimmed, the lighting was cinematic. The camera angles were suspiciously well-framed, and it took the internet less than 30 seconds to call it what it was, a performance. What was meant to be warm came off as cold. What was supposed to be real felt rehearsed. And what was clearly intended to humanize her had the opposite effect. It wasn't long before the critics pounced stand, not just online trolls. Royal biographer Tom Bower and aristocratic firebrand lady Colin Campbell both launched into takedowns so blistering that even hardened commentators were stunned. Lady C called it narcissism on full display, a desperate attempt to steal back relevance. Tom Bower was even harsher, labeling the video a grotesque display of self-promotion disguised as motherhood. He accused Meghan of using her children like stage props in a marketing campaign that's falling apart. And they weren't alone. Across TikTok, users began lip-syncing Meghan's expressions in mockery. On Instagram, parenting pages called the video a PR stunt, not parenting. And Twitter, always ready to pounce, erupted with hashtags like #nanny-directed-dance and #Meghan-birthday-blunder. The most brutal observation: that for someone who once sued for privacy, Meghan had now gone full content creator with her kids front and center, not for love, but for likes. But that wasn't the whole story. Because beneath the surface of this viral storm lies something far deeper and far more telling. While viewers zeroed in on Meghan's wineglass waltz and her children's blank stares, few initially noticed the subtle product placement happening. In the background, bottles of her soon-to-launch wine label, casually arranged on a garden table, glinting in the sunlight just behind her. The implication was crystal clear. This wasn't just a birthday video, it was a soft ad, a push disguised as a family moment. And once people caught on, the floodgates opened. Marketing analysts labeled the move exploitative, warning that combining product placement with your children's images is a line most celebrities never dare to cross. One industry insider told reporters, "You don't soft launch wine next to your toddler. It's not just bad PR, it's reckless branding." The fallout wasn't limited to commentators. Even fan pages that had long defended Meghan began to buckle. A well-known Instagram account with over 200,000 followers, once dedicated entirely to uplifting Meghan, quietly deleted the video after just 24 hours. Their explanation: "We support Meghan, but we don't support using children for damage control." That line hit harder than any tweet, because suddenly, it wasn't just critics attacking Meghan, it was her own community questioning her. The loyalty wall that had held strong through the Spotify collapse, through the Netflix cancellations, through the messy launch of American Riviera Orchard, was now showing visible cracks. And then came the silence, not from the internet. From Meghan's team, there was no statement, no clarification, no spin. For once, the rapid response PR machine that had always swooped in to reframe a viral narrative was nowhere to be seen. The silence was deafening and revealing. Was this video rushed out without strategy? Was it posted against PR advice? Or was it a last-ditch move by Meghan herself, determined to stay in control of her own story, even if it meant going rogue? And the silence wasn't just from her team, it was also from Harry. He didn't appear in the video. He didn't release a public birthday message. He didn't even like or repost the clip. And that absence, that void, quickly became its own headline. Is Harry distancing himself from these PR stunts? Was he even consulted? Or are we witnessing the quiet unraveling of a partnership that once vowed to step into the future together? Observers couldn't help but notice that Meghan's most controversial media moves in recent months, her lifestyle brand launch, the failed Netflix deal, the infamous pregnancy dance, have all had one thing in common: Harry is never front and Center instead, Meghan appears alone, dancing, branding, selling, and suddenly, the birthday video didn't feel like a celebration. It felt like a signal that the carefully built brand of H&M may now be more M than H. And that's just the beginning. As the dust settled from the initial media explosion, one unsettling truth became impossible to ignore. Meghan Markle had crossed a line, and now, even those who once defended her were beginning to turn away. The birthday video didn't just reveal a tone-deaf dance or awkward choreography, it revealed a pattern that's becoming harder and harder to deny. Using children as shields in moments of crisis, parenting bloggers typically hesitant to enter celebrity discourse began speaking up. One viral article put it bluntly, "This isn't motherhood, it's damage control wrapped in fairy lights." The clip of Archie hesitating as Meghan spun in a slow circle, trying to coax him into copying her steps, was particularly jarring. He didn't laugh. He didn't dance. He just stood still, visibly unsure. As cameras rolled, and that moment is now everywhere. Clips of the scene have been reposted across TikTok and YouTube Shorts with captions like, "Let the kids be kids, and this isn't cute." Cruel. Viewers, especially parents, felt a visceral discomfort watching the children perform under the spotlight while their mother, glass in hand, orchestrated a branded fantasy. And what made it worse? The context stopped because Meghan didn't just stumble into fame, she fought for privacy. She publicly declared that her children would be kept out of the public eye. She battled tabloids. She sued photographers. She told Oprah that protection meant privacy. But now those same children are being used in full-framed, well-lit branded content posted not by tabloids, but by their own mother. Lady Colin Campbell didn't hold back. "You can't demand protection from intrusion," she said while building an empire on exposure. And she's right. Either the children are private citizens, or they're public figures. But you don't get to toggle between the two, depending on your follower count. And while critics were busy dismantling the ethics of Meghan's approach, another wave of backlash was brewing, this time from inside Hollywood itself. Behind the scenes, PR consultants, branding agents, and digital safety advocates began whispering one shared concern. What the hell happened to her team? Because this video, it didn't look like a carefully strategized release. It looked rushed. It looked raw, and worst of all, it looked unapproved. Sources began speculating that Meghan had bypassed the professionals, that she had ignored the risk analysis, that she had posted the video herself, believing it would show warmth and vulnerability, only to have it blow up in her face. Anna Whitmore, a respected crisis manager known for working with Ellis, said it best on a media panel. "If this was meant to humanize her, it failed. If it was meant to sell wine, it failed harder." All it did was reinforce the worst accusations that Meghan is addicted to. The spotlight tanned. She'll use anything, or anyone, to stay in it. The timing didn't help either. The video dropped at exactly midnight, a PR power move designed to grab the global news cycle before anyone else could. But rather than spark celebration, it triggered a different kind of flood. Headlines like, "Birthday blunder and Meghan's cringy kid dance." It didn't feel like a party. It felt like a pitch. And that's what broke the illusion. Because while celebrities have long blended personal moments with promotion engagement, announcements tied to fashion campaigns, baby photos paired with product launches, there's a line. And in this case, Meghan didn't just blur it, she obliterated it. Even branding experts who once championed soft launches are distancing themselves. "You don't include your kids in what's essentially a wine commercial?" said one marketing analyst. "That's not brand synergy, it's exploitation." And as the fire spread, Meghan's team stayed silent. No follow-up post, no friendly op-ed to clarify intent, no video take, no damage control. The vacuum only deepened the suspicion that this wasn't part of a larger strategy, it was personal. And speaking of personal, where was Prince Harry? That absence grew louder by the hour. No tweet, no statement, no supportive repost, not even a nod of approval. Royal watchers, media outlets, and fans all noticed. Some even went back and rewatched the video looking for any trace of his voice or presence. There was none. And, in a media landscape where silence speaks louder than words, Harry's lack of involvement felt like a rejection. A refusal to co-sign the message. A quiet distancing from the chaos. Some speculated that Harry had seen the cut and begged her not to post it. Others suggested he wasn't consulted at all. A growing camp believes the birthday video wasn't a family celebration at all. It was Meghan's solo act. A performance for the cameras, and Harry refused to play along. That theory gained traction after a resurfaced comment from Tom Bauer, who bluntly stated they signed away their credibility and their dignity for the Netflix deal, but now that the money's drying up, they're panicking, and that panic is showing. Multiple insiders have pointed out the increasing desperation in Meghan's recent moves, from launching American Riviera Orchard without a clear product, to staging sentimental videos, to inserting wine bottles into family moments. And it's not just fans who are noticing. Sponsors are too. Several of Meghan's recent brand partners have remained curiously quiet in the days since the video aired. In the days following the video's release, Meghan's credibility began to disintegrate, not just in tabloids or comment sections, but in the places where it once mattered most: her fanbase, her business alliances, and Hollywood's elite circles. It wasn't just a few trolls or critics tearing her apart anymore. It was parenting advocates, branding experts, royal commentators, even lifestyle influencers who once fawned over her aesthetic now questioned her judgment. And the core of their concern was always the same: the children. Because when a mother says, repeatedly, that her children's privacy is sacred and then posts full-view high-definition footage of them to promote herself and possibly a product, it's not just contradictory, it's manipulative. One former supporter put it bluntly in a viral Instagram reel: "I loved Meghan. I defended her, but that clip alone garnered over 3 million views in 48 hours, and it wasn't the only one." Fan pages began issuing quiet statements or simply deleting posts. Some even removed the video altogether, an act that, in the world of social media loyalty, a single sentence, "We support Meghan, but we do not support using children for damage control," it marked a shift. One that not even her team, her titles, or her curated image could repair. And while her base was quietly breaking apart, media experts were making noise. Respected royal editor Richard Palmer, appearing on a UK morning panel, asked a chilling question: if this were a working royal who posted this, would Parliament be asking questions? His implication was clear. If Meghan were still in the royal family, there would be formal consequences, not reputationally, and that reputation, relations veteran Ella Hartley, known for cleaning up celebrity disasters, said flat out in an interview, "This is one of the worst examples I've seen of media miscalculation. It reinforced every criticism Meghan's received in the last 5 years: manipulative, out of touch, self-absorbed, branding She added that if this was an attempt to distract from recent failures, like the collapse of the delayed Netflix projects, about that wine, because buried in the birthday video were not one, not two, but multiple shots of wine bottles, all strategically placed, been mocked in the press for launching without clear direction or deliverables, critics immediately called it out as one of the most tone-deaf product placements in influencer history. Parenting consultant and marketing specialist Jenna Blake said what many were thinking: if you're holding your child in one hand and showcasing a wine bottle in the background, the optics are not just bad, they're appalling. Suddenly, the birthday video wasn't a celebration. It was a multi-layered media stunt with children at the center, and Meghan beaming at the camera like it was the Cannes red carpet, and with no PR defense, no clarification, and no apology. The backlash only snowballed. Meanwhile, Harry's silence continued to speak volumes. Some suggested he wasn't even aware it would be posted at all. Theories ran wild. One camp believed this was Meghan going rogue, desperate to prove she could still captivate, still control the narrative, still win over an audience. Another believed it was strategic chaos, a calculated gamble to dominate headlines during a slow media cycle. After all, scandal sells. But the most compelling theory, that it was never about the birthday, it was about the brand. And when the brand is struggling, when Netflix turns cold, when Spotify walks away, when Hollywood A-listers stop picking up the phone, you do what you think works. You go back to what got you attention in the first place. You put yourself at the center of a moment. You make it feel personal. You frame it like motherhood. And you pray no one notices the cameras, the lighting rigs, the promotional undercurrent pulsing just beneath the surface. But this time, faces to the silence from her husband, to the deleted fan posts, to the viral parodies across social media, it was all too much, too obvious, too calculated. What was supposed to be her softest moment became her sharpest fall. Even Tina Brown, legendary editor and longtime observer of royal dynamics, weighed in. In an interview, she remarked, "Meghan imagined Harry had wealth and clout when she married him, but he had neither. And in that light, the birthday video takes on a whole new meaning. It's not about turning 44. It's not about dancing with her kids. It's about survival." And yet, ironically, in her attempt to project warmth and vitality, name recognition still feels the need to dance barefoot for validations. Something deeper is unraveling. And now, the world sees it. The real tragedy of the birthday video isn't the awkward choreography. It isn't the wine bottle placement. It isn't even the harsh media commentary. It's the quiet moment when a child hesitates, caught between innocence and spectacle, while the world watches. And it's in that moment that Meghan Markle didn't just lose control of the narrative. She lost something far greater. Trust so as the story continues to unfold. 4. Asterisk, if you found this breakdown eye-opening, don't forget to subscribe, because in a world obsessed with image, we dig beneath the surface, no filters, no fluff, just the unfiltered truth.